Hello, selamat siang, and welcome back to We Are Team Garuda. This is going to be a review of Indonesia Bahrain. Indonesia won 1-0 at the Gelora Bung Karno in Jakarta on Tuesday night, and this was a massive, massive 3 points that we absolutely needed, and we got them. And yeah, I'm gonna go into the match review in a moment, but first let's have a look at the lineups. By the way, you can find highlights on YouTube, and also the full match is actually posted as well at the moment. So if you missed it and you want to go have a look, it's there on YouTube and it's absolutely free, of course. So go and have a look. All right, let's have a look at the lineup. We played the 3-4-2-1 system. Sorry, it's a bit laggy there, but there we go. A couple of changes from the Australia game. I think like the Australia game, there were maybe too many changes and it was a bit disjointed. Although like some players who came in did really well, but others not so much. Some of them got injured as well, so we can't judge. But yeah, this was a more kind of settled, I would say, 11 with Ragnar Oratmangen coming back as well from injury. I mean, that's what I heard anyway, that he was injured for the Australia game. Joe Pelopessi playing in the middle. And yeah, as you can see here from this app, and this is FOTMob, by the way, the ratings are not that high. I don't know. Like, I thought definitely some players were higher. Some of them I would say were lower, but I think like this app, you have to take it with a grain of salt because maybe it's a bit too harsh. Let's have a look at the game stats, and Bahrain actually had more possession. I think like in the first half we had more. At that one point, just before the goal, I think they showed the statistic and it was 60-40 in Indonesia's favor, but clearly, Bahrain got the ball more after that. And yeah, but I have to say like they didn't do too much with it though. They're like experienced and tough guys, but they didn't do that much actually. They had a couple of chances here and there, which I'll talk about later, but nothing like spectacular, I would say. So shots on target, well, total shots were 7 each. Big chances missed, 2 versus 1. Well, the one that they had is the one that probably looped over Martin Pace, and Ruiz Querido had to clear off the line. The 2 that we had was Marcelino Ferdinand, just kind of blazes it from very close range, and then Reindeers also blazed it over the bar. I think the Reindeers chance was even better, but look, it's always easy to say that sitting on a comfortable chair at home. But, when you're in that moment and there's like so much stress, it's not so obvious. But I still think like the Reindeer's chance was pretty good. He should definitely score that one. And if he does, I think it's really kind of game over much faster. Accurate pass is only 80%, 84% for them. And then if you look at the passing stats, so in the own half, it was actually kind of even. In the opposition half, they had 71% to 58 for us, and that's something to work on, I would say. 58% is not great. Final third, 56 to 62. So again, they were just a bit better. Accurate long balls, still they were a bit better, 47 to 41. But the accurate crosses, 38 to 18. 18%, by the way, is bad. Like this is not good. Not good at all. So yeah, that's it for the kind of lineups and the stats. So now let's go into the match analysis. All right, so like I said, Indonesia won, Bahrain 0. I think the game had a good tempo to it, had a good energy to it. Pretty much like we started in Australia, but then unfortunately, like versus Australia, everything unraveled very quickly. But I still think that that game it had a lot of very unlucky moments. Like if you take them out, it's a completely different game. But Australia just had kind of everything going for it on the day. So sometimes it goes like that, and you can't really do much. But yeah, I thought overall this game was good. Started with a good energy. Bahrain didn't really do that much. They were just kind of containing Indonesia for the most part. Then they had a shot from long distance, but it was never really going in. I mean, from that distance, you need something really spectacular. The guy was kind of falling over anyway, so the shot was kind of crashed, and yeah, it went wide. And pretty much like in the next sequence, Bahrain lose the ball in the middle. Tom Haye, I think, has a good vision. He can see Ferdinand's run, gets the ball to him. Ferdinand can see Romani in the middle, just kind of passes the ball there, and Romani only has to beat the keeper. Actually, if you look back at the chance, the keeper was kind of close to it. So it's not like a clear goal, like the keeper had no chance. It was like a good finish, obviously, but the keeper was pretty close to it. But anyway, it's 1-0. And after that, it was more kind of a tactical battle, I thought. Like Bahrain tried to push forward, Indonesia tried to contain them. There were a couple of times where Bahrain players were trying to outflank Indonesia, but then you got like Verdonk just like sprinting back and getting the ball. Rizquirido clearing off the line as well. Bahrain had one, like they had really one good chance. They also had one shot from distance, but it was at the keeper. They had one shot on above the bar as well. But the one good chance that they had, it was kind of a weird one because the ball kind of bounces in the middle. A bunch of players trying to get to it. Nobody really can. The Bahrain guy doesn't hit it cleanly. He kind of tries to lob it into the goal. He does beat the keeper, but Rizquirido is on the line to make the clearance off the bar and for a corner. That was the only like clear chance that they had, I would say. And then they had one more chance later when another player surged on the right side, and then Hübner was aware and made the clearance. From our side, so I like Marcelino had another good chance. Obviously, like I said, he gets the ball, and he actually has two options. He can either go for the shot, or he can try to square it for Romani, who was clear in the middle. Kind of makes a complete hash of it, and it just blazes over the bar. I think though, maybe that chance, because the pitch is not great, let's be fair. So the ball kind of bounces a little bit, and maybe like just before he gets to the ball takes a little bounce or something, and that's why he can't really control it. But I know it's an excuse, and he should do better. But the pitch does play a role. A lot of players complain about pitches. So the other good chance that we had, it was a player. Okay, I forgot the name, so just let me have a quick look because actually he was a sub. Cambuaya. So yeah, he came on in the 74th actually, and I thought he did really, really well. He did really, really well. I was surprised because I never saw the guy play. So again, for me, it's kind of first time seeing him. And yeah, he just provided this kind of technical edge that we were maybe missing at that point of the game. And I think he kind of surprised everybody because even the Bahrain players were like, every time he did something, some kind of trick, everybody just kind of was standing and staring because it's like, who's this guy? Like, he can do that? Like, this kind of reaction. It was pretty funny. But yeah, he did really well. And so he crosses the ball with the outside of the boot to Reindeers, who was in the middle, unmarked at the point, at that stage. Unfortunately, though, he just completely blazes over the bar, and it's a chance that goes begging. But that, I think that was a good, like a great chance, and that you need to score that. I mean, you have the whole goal at your mercy. The keeper, I think, was to the right side of the goal at that point. I know that he moved more into the middle, but you still had the entire left side to aim at, or no, wait, the right side. Yeah. And he just, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's kind of inexperience and stress or whatever, the pressure. Unfortunately, it goes over the bar, and yeah, it kind of made for a tense finish because especially later in the game. Rizky Rido had a kind of cramp or something, and he had to go off the field. Then Cambuaya was hit in the head with the ball, and he had to go off. So then there was a stage where we were down to 9 men. And, like again, if you were 2-0 up, you would have been much more confident because, like, even if you concede at that point, it's like, well, you still have a buffer zone. But if it's just 1-0, if they score, it's kind of back to square one. So luckily, we didn't concede, but it was a very, very kind of close affair at the end, I would say. So now that I've talked about the match analysis, let's go into the player ratings. I'm going to start with the keeper, Martin Pace. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he did okay, definitely better than his Australia display. In fact, there was a corner that Bahrain had, and he actually came out and grabbed the ball. So clearly he can do that. But versus Australia, he was just non-existent whatsoever. He was completely anonymous. But apparently he can go and claim corners, so that's good. I felt like the time that he was beaten, um, it was, I don't know, it felt like the whole situation was kind of clumsy. I think he could have done a bit better, to be honest, but luckily he gets rescued by Rido, so nothing came of it. Apart from that, I thought it was just okay. Like, distribution was not the greatest. I've seen better from him. So, yeah, and he was actually not that busy throughout the game. Bahrain didn't really have many chances. The few kind of half chances that they got, I thought that he dealt with very well. Next one, we're gonna go to Rizky Rido. I'm gonna give him a big fat 9 out of 10. This was a much, much better performance than versus Australia, where I thought he was a bit kind of off the pace and yeah, just a bit like a daisical. But yeah, he was really good here. And obviously he gets extra marks for that clearance on the goal line, because if he doesn't do that, it's a really kind of fluke goal for Bahrain, and then it's 1-1 and it's a completely different game. So yeah, definitely great. But even in general play, I thought he was much, much better. Good passing, good ball recovery, and yeah, just much better. Next one, we're gonna go to Jay Idzes. I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I think like he was definitely still better than, versus Australia, but like all of them were, to be honest. Let's be fair. He has like great leadership capacity, I think, but on the ball, sometimes I feel like he can still do better. It's still a bit kind of um, not great at the moment, but I know that he's still young and he has time to improve. He's playing in Italy as well, so he's playing against some very good players over there, and I think that he can definitely improve over time. But better, nothing like too spectacular, so just 7. Next one, we're gonna go to Justin Hubner. I think Hubner is probably my man of the match. I'm gonna give him a 9 out of 10 as well. I felt like him and Rido, like on both flanks, were just phenomenal. They completely nullified Bahrain's attacks. And there was one chance when Bahrain was trying to break free on the right flank, but then I think Hubner initially gets a bit caught by that, but he manages to recover and make a tackle. But even before that, he made many tackles. Sometimes he was kind of flying in, which is pretty dangerous, actually. I'm surprised he didn't get a yellow card. There was an incident in the first half, I think, where Bahrain, they're defending a corner. The keeper gets the ball. The keeper tries to play it out. And I think like the keeper actually pushes an Indonesian player to the ground. And then Hubner was probably pissed off about that. So he then pushes the keeper. But you have to be very careful when you do that, because usually when you touch the keeper in any way, you're going to get a yellow card. So he was really lucky to get away with it. There were a couple of other times where he was kind of flying in pretty recklessly, I would say, but he did get the ball, but it was just very reckless. I think like another referee probably gives him a yellow, so he has to watch his temperament, but he's absolutely phenomenal. And every time he made a successful tackle, he would, kind of rile the crowd up, and everybody would just start cheering like crazy. And yeah, it kind of trickles down to the rest of the team. So yeah, it was just phenomenal to watch. Next one, we're gonna go to Dix. I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I thought like he had a pretty decent game. He got fouled a lot, I would say. He definitely got fouled a lot. Some of them I think deserved like a yellow for sure. And some of them were a bit more kind of theatrical. He was maybe trying to buy the foul a little bit, but some of them definitely I thought deserved a yellow, and I don't know why the Bahraini player didn't get a yellow. But yeah, apart from that, he was pretty good. His delivery was all right. His ball control was pretty good. He kept things ticking along, and yeah, just a solid performance overall. Next one, I'm gonna go to Tom Haye. I'm also gonna give him a 7 out of 10. He probably gets a markup just to see Marcelino breaking free and making the pass, very accurate pass, by the way, like pinpoint pass. Apart from that, like, nothing too spectacular, but look, it's Tom Haye. You don't expect anything spectacular from him, although he did score a great goal against the Philippines in the previous round. That's true. But overall, like, he's not like a kind of spectacular player. He just provides a solid presence in the middle. um, so yeah, nothing spectacular, but very solid. Next one, we're gonna go to Joel Pelupesi. I'm also gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I did watch the game again yesterday in review. Well, not the whole game, obviously, but kind of phases. Um, I think he was okay. I didn't see like anything too special either, but again, he's a central defensive midfielder, so I don't expect anything fantastic from these type of positions. But yeah, he was just solid and kept the things moving along and making the important blocks. But yeah, nothing too spectacular. Next one, we're gonna go to Calvin Verdonk. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I think like going forward, he could have done maybe a bit more, but definitely in defense, at times he was actually playing on the other side because like here he's listed on which side is that? That would be the left side, right? Yeah. But sometimes he was on the right. That sprint I mentioned before, it was actually on the right side. He was, yeah, the Bahrain player tries to break free, and you can see Verdonk just kind of sprinting back and making the tackle. He reminds me a lot of Jordi Alba. They even kind of look a bit similar. Obviously, okay, look, Jordi Alba is like a Barcelona legend, so you know. But Verdonk is really, really good. Like he has good speed and good ball control, good passing range. Definitely a good performance here, and I look forward to the next one. Next one, we're gonna go to Marcelino Ferdinand. I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. I thought it's kind of a bit similar to Australia. On the ball, he's obviously very good, technical ability and all that, great. But he sometimes kind of fades out of games and yeah, goes missing a little bit. So, and also sometimes he's a bit over aggressive for no reason, and then he gets a yellow, and then he really has to watch himself, right? So maybe he just has to watch his temperamental side a little bit. But look, he gets the assist at the end of the day, and we score from that. I just think like yeah, he could have done a bit more. Next one, we're gonna go to Ragnar Oratmangen. So he was obviously missing against Australia. I heard that it was due to injury. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard. That's what I read. I think like in this game, I've seen better performances from him, so I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. By the way, I think maybe because maybe he was indeed injured. It felt like he was a bit off the pace here. Like he tried a couple of things here and there, but overall, like nothing much came off really. And he was taken off in the 74th, actually, with Marcelino as well. And finally, I'm going to finish with Oli Romini from the starting lineup. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. So again, he gets a goal, and it turns out to be the winning goal, and it's a massive, massive 3 points that we absolutely needed. Apart from that, I thought as usual, he provided a lot of energy, a lot of running, tried to kind of shield the ball and wait for support. Definitely his overall play is miles ahead of someone like Rafael Strike. Miles ahead. Completely, like, so much better. This is the striker that we wanted in the team. Like, because if you looked at the team before, we had a like a good defense. The midfield was getting better, but we were just missing a striker, you know. And I know that Marcelino likes to move forward often, and he likes to get on the goal action, and that's fine. But we really needed a striker, some kind of focus point, you know. And Romani is that player so far, anyway. Really, really good performance. From the subs, we're gonna go to Jenner. First, he came on in the 59th to replace Tom Haye. I thought like he did okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10 as well. I thought like he just did okay. It was almost like a like for like substitution, really. I know that maybe Jenner is physically a little bit well, obviously he's a bit different to Haye, but he kept the things moving along, and he kept the ball in situations where we needed to keep the ball. So I thought, yeah, it was a pretty good cameo for like 30 minutes. Next one, we're going to go to Eliano Reinders. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I think there's probably like a decent player in there, but just at the moment, it's not quite there yet. It's not the finished article. Obviously, he misses a fantastic chance. You have to score that chance. Apart from that, I don't remember too much that he did, but you know, again, he tried to keep the ball and things like that, but really nothing kind of spectacular. Sandy Walsh came on in the 74th minute. I was actually a bit surprised because I thought he was injured versus Australia, but you know, luckily it was not much of an injury because he played. I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. I don't remember too much that he did, but you know, he came on and provided a bit of energy, but nothing like too spectacular, really. And finally, from the rated anyway, I'm gonna give a rating to Kambuaya. I'm actually gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a great cameo for 15 minutes. I've never seen the guy play before, but he came on and like immediately he started to do some kind of technical dribbles. He showed a lot of trickery, and when he did that, a lot of Bahraini players were just kind of standing and staring, like they didn't know like who is this guy, like what is he, like what is this, and yeah, he just completely destroyed some defenders, some midfielders. He tried to move the ball forward. He crossed the ball to Reindeers with the outside of the boot. Unfortunately, you know, that chance was missed, as I mentioned before. But he really provided a lot of like trickery, and at a point in the game where we really needed something a bit different, not just like defending the ball, but also when you go forward, you try to keep the ball, and maybe you try to ask different questions. And I think that he did that. And yeah, I really enjoyed the cameo. It was really good. Sanante came on in the 87th, but obviously, you know, I'm not going to rate players who have less than 15 minutes of game time. So that's it for the player ratings. After the game, Patrick Kluivert thanked the 69,000 people cheering in the stadium. He said, "We have, first of all, to be very happy with this result. We deserved to win with the chances we created. We deserved even more goals. In Australia, it was a result that we did not deserve. This time, in front of our fans, we are very happy to have this result and to share with the fans. It's just the beginning. We have more time till June. We have a little time to fix everything even better." So yeah, let's have a quick look at the standings now. And yeah, as you can see from the group now, we are at 9 points. It's still a very tight group, but the thing is, like, had we lost this game, or if it was a draw, then the other teams really, really start to pull away, you know, like, so we really needed those 3 points to stay in some kind of contention. The problem is, like, okay, so the next two games we're gonna play against China, and the last game is against Japan. We absolutely need a result against China. Um, Look, if we can get those 3 points, whatever happens in the other matches, right, that will put us at 12. And I'm fairly sure, of course, you never know in football, but I'm fairly sure that it will probably be enough, at least for like to get a playoff spot, you know. Of course, we still need to dream, right? We still need to be dreamers and dream that maybe we can get the second spot because Australia plays Japan next. And, if they lose and we are at 12 points, there's only 1 point of difference. And in the last game, anything can happen. So we still have to dream. But like realistically speaking, though, the last game is against Japan. And even if Japan plays some kind of B team, which they might, I think they will probably play a strong team against Australia because there's a bit of rivalry going on between them. And they definitely would like a result, especially like it's an away game. So they want to, they want to prepare for the World Cup. So they would probably go there and try to play a strong team, I would guess anyway. But versus Indonesia, they're at home. They don't really need to make any effort whatsoever. So it's possible that they play some kind of secondary team. But look, they're still at home, and it's still Japan. They have a lot of pride, and I maybe we can get like a point or something. We still have to dream, okay? We can still dream about a win. But like realistically speaking, I mean, we can maybe get up like 1 point or something. But again, like with the goal difference, it's not going to be enough to catch Australia, unfortunately. So yeah, I think like we're kind of destined to be in the playoffs. But look, that's a great achievement because at the beginning of the stage, everybody was kind of laughing at Indonesia. They were saying like, oh yeah, like Indonesia, forget it. They're gonna finish with 0 points, and it's gonna be like the worst, like just everything bad, like least goals scored and most goals conceded, etc., etc. But yeah, look where we are. We are in fourth place, 9 points. Yeah, it's true that the goal ratio is negative. That's true, but definitely we're above like where probably bookies expected us to be. So yeah, that's it for the match review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the content, do remember to like, comment, and share and subscribe as well. I'm obviously gonna take a break until the next game, which is June 5th, I think. Yes, June 5th. That game is gonna be also at home, so this is another game that we absolutely need to go for the 3 points. China is, look, I mean, of course, like on their day, anybody can get a result, but you know, China is not like the greatest team out there. Having said that, we did lose in China. So, kind of warning sign there a little bit. But look, we're at home. We have to be a bit more confident. And the crowd, by the way, the crowd was spectacular at the Gelora Bung Karno. Almost a 70,000 crowd there, a sellout crowd. Fantastic. I mean, I saw like, just go watch the YouTube replay because they actually show even before the game starts, and you can just see like everybody with the flags, and the atmosphere is absolutely phenomenal. So I hope that on June 5th it's the same or even better. And yeah, we go and get the result against China. So yeah, I will see you next time in June. So until then, take care, stay safe, and peace.